You think intelligent people talk a lot? Actually, they know exactly what to never say. Marcus Aurelius, the philosopher emperor of Rome, mastered an art that almost no one knows today: the power of strategic silence. 2,000 years ago, he identified 10 toxic phrases that only weak minds utter. And that might be sabotaging your life right now. What you're about to discover today can completely change how people see and respect you, because I'm going to reveal the communication secrets that separate the truly wise from the eternally mediocre. Subscribe to the channel, leave your like and comment from what part of the world you're watching, because now I'm going to tell you everything. How fast do people judge your thinking? Faster than most of us expect. People form a view of your mind within a few breaths. They do this before they see your full work. The first signs they meet are the words you choose, the tone of your voice, and the timing of when you speak. Short answers, small gaps, and speed all carry meaning. Quick talk can feel lively in the moment, yet loose words can mark you as risky. In short exchanges, one line can move your credibility up or down. Small choices matter here. The goal is not silence for its own sake. The goal is to shift from impulse to intention. You keep control of what you send out. You reduce noise. You set a stable signal others can trust. Think about a normal day. You join a call. You have one turn to speak. The other person uses that turn to form a picture of your mind. If your words are clear, modest, and firm, people feel safer to rely on you. If your words deny plain facts or reach too far, they hold back. Tone changes reception. A steady tone invites room. A sharp tone can close a door. Timing affects how others answer. If you jump in at the wrong moment, useful detail can get lost. If you wait for the right beat, you get better input. It is a small pause, but it opens space where better facts appear. Start with word choice. Words are tools. Some tools fit the job, some tools break it. Choose simple words that carry one clear meaning. Name what you know and what you do not know. Avoid extreme words that paint with a wide brush. Avoid vague fillers that hide the point. When a claim needs a limit, add the limit. When a source exists, name the source. When a step is due, say the step and the date. Each of these choices shows care. People hear care and adjust their trust. Now consider tone. Tone is the feeling inside your sound. It is not decoration. It sets how your message lands. End statements with a steady line. Do not let your voice rise at the end of a statement. A rise can sound unsure. Do not slam the ending either. A slam can sound hostile. Find a calm middle. Keep your pace even. Round the edges of your words. Let the other person finish. Show that you are here to work the problem, not to win the moment. Timing is the third cue. Timing is when you choose to speak. Many of us rush. We fear silence. We fear that waiting means weakness. It does not. A small gap gives you time to think. It lets others finish a thought. It keeps you from cutting a key detail. If you jump in too soon, you force the other person to guard their words. If you wait one beat, you often get the full picture. You also show that you can hold your own feelings without spilling them into the room. Picture a short meeting. A client asks, "What is the status?" You fire back at once with a long stream of claims and caveats. Your speed fills the space, but you miss the part of the question that mattered most to them. They hear effort and movement, yet not a clear path. Now picture the same moment with a small change. You wait for one breath. You say, "Here is what is done. Here is what is open. Here is my next step, and when you will have it." Your tone is steady, your words are plain, your timing gives their mind a place to land. The content may be the same in both cases. The signal is not. One version invites trust. The other version invites doubt. One line can change the room. A single careless phrase can undo progress that took weeks to build. You may have a solid record and good intent. You may have put in long hours. In a fast exchange, none of that is visible. What is visible is your first line. Say, "That is not my fault," and you move the focus from repair to blame. Say, "Here is my part and my next step," and you move toward a fix. Say, "Everyone says," and you force others to chase ghosts. Say, "Source is the client's email from last week," and you give the group something they can check. These are tiny shifts. They tell people whether you are safe to trust in this moment. Your signal reaches beyond the person in front of you. Others listen from the edges. They notice your words, your tone, and when you enter the talk. If your first signals are careful, the room loosens. People share more facts. They bring risks forward earlier. If your first signals are careless, the room tightens. People hide small issues until they grow. This is not about being nice. It is about clear judgment that lowers risk for everyone. None of this asks you to speak in stiff lines or to become a robot. It asks you to make small, repeatable choices. Keep your first sentence short. Put the key point up front. Add one proof or next step. End with a clean close. Use names and dates when you can. Stay away from words that deny obvious facts. When you do not know, say so and propose how you will find out. These moves do not reduce your voice. They give your voice weight. When stakes feel high, speed tends to jump. This is normal. Your body wants to move. Your mouth wants to help. That is when risk rises. Rapid talk leaves less room for thought. Rapid talk raises the odds that you say a half-truth or an absolute you cannot support. It also makes it hard for others to jump in with data you need. You can slow this without losing energy. Take one breath before your first word. Put a soft pause after your main point. Ask if more detail would help. These tiny breaks show that you value clarity over rush. They make it easier for others to meet you in the middle. You may worry that short lines are too simple for complex work. The truth is, short lines do not shrink the work. They frame it. A short line can open the door to the deeper detail that follows. For example, you can say, "We have a constraint," then lay out the facts. You can say, "I see two risks," then explain them in plain language. The first line is a signpost. It helps people track the logic. When the first line is muddy, people lose the thread and stop trusting the rest. You can help yourself with one small plan for your next talk. Before you join, choose one outcome you want from the talk. It can be a decision, an update, or a clear next step. Hold that outcome in mind. When you get your turn, state the outcome in one clean sentence. Then add one reason or one action. This does not take long. It does not block others. It guides them. If they need more, they will ask. If they do not need more, you saved time for everyone. Text and chat carry the same rules. In short written notes, your first line does most of the work. A vague line such as "working on it" leaves your reader unsure. A clear line such as "draft will be in your inbox by Friday morning" gives them a time and a path. When you need input, ask for the one item that moves the work forward. When you push back, own your reason and offer an alternative. Your reader judges your thinking by that small rectangle of words. Make that space count. Email subjects and message openings send strong signals too. A subject such as "quick question" gives no hint of scope. A subject such as "decision needed on budget limit by Monday" tells the reader what to expect. An opening such as "following up" asks them to do the work of recall. An opening such as "I am checking on the 2 approvals due today" carries more load. These small edits show respect for the time and the mind of the reader. That respect comes back to you in better responses. Meetings add another layer. When you speak first, you shape the frame. If your first line is a firm judgment, others may hold back, even if you are wrong. If you ask a clear question and then wait, you get more data. If you wait too long without context, people may feel you are checked out. A simple context line helps. You can say, "I am thinking, please continue." This keeps the flow while you gather your point. When you end your turn, land it. Do not trail off. A clean landing tells the room that your point is complete and opens space for the next person. Many of us use filler sounds without noticing. These sounds blur your signal. The quickest fix is to shorten the first sentence and let it end. You can also replace filler with a short pause. The silence will feel longer to you than it does to others. Trust that gap. It reads as thought, not as a mistake. If you need time to pull data, say, "Give me a moment," then pause. This is honest and safe. It prevents a scramble that leads to errors. You can preview the care in your thinking with small markers. Say what is in scope and what is out of scope. Name the time frame you mean. Use concrete verbs for actions you will take. When you are uncertain, mark it on purpose with a simple line such as, "This is my early read." These markers make your judgment look measured. People lean in when they feel your care. Accountability shows in first signals as well. There is a clear difference between hiding and owning. Hiding sounds like, "It is complex," and leaves others stuck. Owning sounds like, "I made this choice and it caused this delay. Here is my fix." The second line admits a part and moves to action. It does not grovel. It does not blame. It tells the group that you play a clean game. That reduces the need for long checks and tight controls. The work moves faster because trust has a base. Notice too how you respond to pressure. When challenged, many people swing to extreme words. Always, never, everyone, no one. These words feel strong in the moment. They also tend to be false. They push others into defense. A calmer frame helps. Name the pattern you see. Name the times it shows up. Ask to review those moments. This keeps the talk tied to facts. It gives both sides a path to test claims. Over time, this habit shapes your reputation. People learn that you do not avoid hard points. You handle them with care. If you worry that you need to speak more to show value, test the opposite for a week. In each talk, try one fewer sentence than usual. Put your main point first. Ask one question that opens the floor, then listen. You will find that you do not lose ground, you gain it. Others bring you what you need. You keep your energy for the parts where your input adds value. The rest you let pass without strain. All of these moves keep your signal stable. Stability does not mean being slow or dull. Stability means your first signals match your deeper work. People can predict how you will handle new data. They can see that you will correct yourself when needed. They can count on you to avoid reckless lines that burn trust. That is what most teams crave when stakes rise. Not volume, not drama, just a steady hand on the words that steer the room. You can steer your own self-assessment the same way. After a hard call, ask yourself how your first line landed. Did it hold a clear claim? Did your tone steady the room? Did your timing invite more detail? Do not judge yourself harshly. Use a friendly, honest lens. Pick one small change for the next call. Practice that one change until it feels normal, then add another. This is how you move from impulse to intention without heavy effort. As you make these shifts, you will notice a pattern in how others respond. They use shortcuts to judge if they can rely on you. This is not a flaw. It is how the mind saves time. The mind gives extra weight to negative cues. One reckless word can cancel 5 good ones. Certain phrases set off alarms fast. Certain markers calm those alarms and open the door to better facts. When you learn these shortcuts and the cues that trigger them, you gain another layer of control over your signal. Why does one careless word erase 5 careful ones? The answer lives in how minds save time. People use shortcuts to judge if they can rely on you. This is not lazy or cruel. It is a fast way to lower risk in daily life. The mind scans your words, your tone, and your timing, and then it makes a quick call. It gives extra weight to danger signs. A small negative cue can feel large. a small positive cue can feel small. This tilt shapes what people share with you and how they work with you. When you see this pattern, you can steer how your lines land. You do not control what others think, but you can control the signals you send. Start with the shortcuts that harm trust the most. Denying a clear fact is one of them. You might feel the urge to say, that did not happen when the evidence is on the table. The mind on the other side hears a red flag. A red flag is a signal that says, risk is high. Another shortcut that hurts is exaggeration. Words like always and never push claims past what the facts can hold. They feel strong in the mouth, but they sound weak in the ear. A third shortcut that harms is blame shifting. Lines that move the focus away from your part and onto a target feel like an escape. People hear that you will protect yourself before you protect the shared goal. Each of these cues turns down trust fast. There are shortcuts that help trust. People scan for small signs of humility and precision. Humility shows when you limit a claim on purpose and show that you can adjust. Precision shows when you say exactly what you mean and define scope and time. When you add a narrow claim, a clear condition, a source, and a next step, you send a green flag. A green flag is a signal that says careful judgment is in play. Listeners relax. They bring you more useful detail. They do not fear that you will stretch their words or deny the record. They feel that you notice facts and limits, and that you take action when action is due. There is a third group of cues that are not clear yet. Call them yellow flags. These are vague time frames, undefined roles, and fuzzy terms. Yellow flags are not lies, they are gaps. Gaps stall progress because no one knows who will do what by when. The quick fix is a simple, precise question or a small, specific clarification. You can say, which day do you need this? You can say, who owns this step? You can say, what does done mean here? One tight question turns a yellow flag into a green flag. You can see these shortcuts at work in common scenes. In a status meeting, a manager asks for an update on a late task. If you say everyone was slow this week, you hide the source and block checking. This is a red flag. If you say, the design team is the source. I spoke with Mel on Wednesday. The review took 2 extra days. My part is to adjust the handoff. You will have the new date this Friday. You add names, dates, and a next step. This is a green flag. The mind on the other side relaxes. It has enough detail to form a clear picture. It also hears that you own your part and are moving. In a client call, a customer claims they sent key data. If you say, I already knew that, the door closes. You may have known the core point, but there may be nuance or an update inside their message. You just told them you will not look. Trust drops. A green flag version is simple. You can say, thank you, I see one new detail here. The range on volume is wider. You can then add a next step. You can say, I will update the forecast table and send it before end of day. The client hears care. They share more data next time because their effort is welcome. The brain's extra weight on negative cues can surprise us. It feels unfair when 5 good points are erased by 1 sloppy line. Yet the mind is trying to keep harm out. When it hears denial or extreme claims or blame shifting, it reads high risk and pulls back. That is why your first line in a tense moment matters. If you can avoid those red cues and add 1 or 2 green cues, you keep the door open. You do not need to be perfect. You need to show that your judgment is careful in real time. You can plan your language to help. Before you speak, check your line for 3 things. Ask if you are about to deny a plain fact. Ask if you are about to use an extreme word that wipes out nuance. Ask if you are about to dodge your part. If any of those are true, stop and rewrite the line in your head. Swap denial for a short statement of what you see and do not see. Swap extremes for a specific scope in time or place. Swap dodge for one clear part you own and one next step you will take. This takes a few seconds once you practice. The payoff is large because you avoid the trap that costs trust the fastest. Precision has simple markers that anyone can use. When you give a number, add the source. If you say, "The response rate was high," no one knows what that means. If you say, "The response rate was 30% based on the survey that closed last Thursday," the file is in the shared drive, people can check. When you state a plan, add a date and an owner. If you say, "We will address this soon," the room stays in a yellow fog. If you say, "I will deliver the draft by Monday morning," Lena will review by Wednesday noon, "We will send the final by Friday," the fog lifts. The dates are real. The owners are clear. Actions can start. Humility has simple markers as well. You can show that your view has limits without sounding weak. One way is to mark the time frame of your claim. You can say, "Based on data up to last week, this is our best read." Another way is to state what would change your mind. You can say, "If we get customer data that shows a drop in renewals, I will update this forecast the same day." These lines do not reduce your authority. They raise it, because they show that you know where the edges are and that you are ready to move when facts change. You can turn yellow flags into green flags with one question at a time. In a planning chat, you might hear, "Let us circle back later." This is a yellow flag because later is undefined. You can fix it with, "Which day and time works?" When a colleague says, "I can try to help," you can ask, "What is the one step you can take by Thursday afternoon?" When a partner says, "This feels risky," you can ask, "Which part worries you most? The timeline, the budget, or the method?" Small exact questions turn fog into shape. They show that you want to get to a clear plan, not to win a vague debate. Be careful with tone while you fix flags. A calm tone invites answers. A sharp tone can make simple questions feel like traps. End your sentences cleanly. Leave space for the other person to fill in. If you do not understand, say, "Please say that again." In other words, this is plain and respectful. It prevents you from guessing and charging ahead on a wrong read. Guessing in public creates more red flags because it risks denial of facts that you did not hear in full. Watch for common trigger words that raise yellow or red flags without you noticing. Words like soon, later, everyone, nobody, always, never, and obviously carry hidden claims or hidden time frames. You can replace them with clear markers. Instead of soon, say the actual day. Instead of everyone, name the person or the database that supports the claim. Instead of obviously, explain the step that makes the point clear. These swaps do not take long. They make your thinking visible and testable. When you face a strong claim from someone else, do not answer with an equal and opposite claim. That path raises heat and produces more red flags on both sides. Instead, add one boundary and one check. You can say, "In this region over the last 6 months, we saw a smaller effect." The record is in the report dated May. Would you be open to looking at both sets of data? You keep the talk in the lane of facts and scope. The other person sees that you are not trying to score a point. You are trying to get to the truth within a frame that both can accept. In team settings, early red flags change the flow of ideas. If a leader denies plain facts, or uses blame, or exaggerates wins, people learn to protect themselves. They share less. They do not bring weak signals early. Work slows later when small issues have grown. If a leader marks limits, names sources, and sets clear next steps, people learn that care is rewarded. They bring rough data earlier. They help tighten the plan. The mind of the group is always scanning. Your lines teach it what to expect. Online shortcuts work even faster because text strips away tone and body cues. A vague post invites guesswork. A post with a source link, a date, and a narrow claim invites review. When you do not know, you can mark that plainly. You can write, "My view may be incomplete. "Here is what I see and the source." This invites correction in a focused way. It is different from a loose shrug. It shows that you want to get it right and that you have done the basic check. There is a trap to avoid on the green flag side. Some people add so many limits and caveats that their message turns into fog. The fix is simple. Pair each limit with an action. If you say, "I might be wrong," add, "Here is how I will check." If you say, "The data is early," add, "We will run a second sample by next Friday." The limit is honest. The action keeps momentum. People hear both and feel safe to keep working with you. You can rehearse green flags in low-stakes moments so they show up under stress. At the start of a meeting, you can frame a point with, "Here is what is in scope today," and "Here is what is out of scope today." During an update, you can say, "The source is the system report run this morning. The time window is the past 2 weeks. The sample size is 30. When you deliver a risk note, you can add, "The next step is to call the vendor by 3 in the afternoon and confirm the shipment." These are simple lines. Use them until they feel natural. They turn your thinking into a clear picture others can trust. As you practice, keep an eye on your own triggers. Notice moments when you rush to deny, or to speak in extremes, or to dodge your part. These patterns are common. There is no need for shame. There is a need for a plan. One low-effort plan is to make a short pause before you answer in tense moments. A pause of 2 to 4 seconds gives your mind just enough space to choose a green flag line over a red one. It also gives the other person a chance to add the detail that may fix a yellow flag without your help. That small gap can change the whole exchange. Also, watch how you react when you hear a red flag from someone else. If they deny a fact, you can state the evidence gently and tie it to an outcome. You can say, "The log shows 3 outages this month. That affects our service level. Can we review the logs together?" If they exaggerate, you can narrow the claim without heat. You can say, "In this case, we have 2 examples. Are there more?" If they shift blame, you can move to repair. You can say, "I can take these 2 steps by Wednesday. What can you take?" These moves avoid a spiral. They bring the talk back to facts and action. A final point helps the whole system. Mark uncertainty on purpose. Many people think that showing doubt will lower their standing. The opposite tends to be true when doubt is paired with a path. You can say, "I am not certain about the cost impact. I will ask finance for the last quarter trend and report back tomorrow." You can say, "My view is early. If you have a source that conflicts with this, I will adjust." These lines show that you respect the truth more than your ego. That is a strong green flag. When you learn to see these shortcuts in yourself and others, your choices change. You remove words that trigger fast distrust. You fix gaps that slow work. You add small markers that show care. Your talk becomes a series of clear signals that others can read and rely on. The effect is not loud. It is steady. People feel safer to share real information with you. That raises the quality of your decisions and lowers the cost of mistakes. None of this requires new tools or long scripts. It requires attention to small, repeatable cues. Limit your claims when the field is wide. Define your terms so people are aligned. Name your sources so people can check. Set next steps so work moves. Avoid denial. Avoid extremes. Avoid blame. Treat vague timelines and roles as repairable gaps. Replace them with named days, times, and owners. Use a short pause to keep impulse from running the show. A few seconds of quiet can turn a red flag into a green one before the first word is out of your mouth. What is the simplest way to improve your next sentence? Use a short pause before you speak. A pause is a tool. It is a choice to wait for a few seconds so your words match your intent. It is small and firm. It helps you move from impulse to intention. You do not freeze. You give yourself room to think. You give the other person room to finish. You lower the chance of a half-truth. You lower the chance of a careless claim. The mind on the other side hears the result. It sounds calmer. It sounds clearer. It sounds safer to trust. You already know that minds use shortcuts and that negative cues weigh more. A pause helps you avoid those cues. A gap of 2 to 4 seconds changes the arc of a talk. It keeps you from denying a clear fact because you felt cornered. It keeps you from using extreme words because you felt rushed. It keeps you from shifting blame because you felt exposed. It gives you enough space to choose a clean line. It also invites more detail from the other side. People often fill a quiet moment with useful facts they had not shared yet. You do less and you gain more. Treat the pause as an active step. You ask a short question. You stop. You count to 3 in your head. You keep your face neutral and open. You resist the urge to fill the space with nervous sounds. You do not rescue the silence with a joke. You do not change the topic. You hold the space and let it work. When you reply, you keep your sentence short. You land the sentence with a steady tone. If you do not know, you say so and add one next step you will take. You can see this in a simple scene. You ask, "What problem are we solving?" Then you wait. You do not add more words. You do not answer your own question. After a few seconds, the person across from you often names the real issue. They may add a key date. They may name a risk. Your pause made the space for that to appear. If you had jumped in fast, you would have spoken over that detail and lost it. Negotiators use quiet to invite full offers. When the other side finishes a number or a request, they pause. They do not rush to fill the gap. The next words that appear often include terms, timing, or trade-offs the first sentence did not show. Counselors use quiet to let insight surface. A client says a hard line. The counselor waits with care. The person speaks again and finds their own words for the feeling. Interviewers use quiet to reveal depth. A candidate ends a story. The interviewer holds the space. The candidate adds the detail that shows how they think. The pause does not force anyone. It gives them room to bring more of the truth. Silence also reduces harm. In heat, a quick line can land wrong and burn trust. A short pause changes your state. It lets strong feelings settle just enough so you can choose. You can still be clear. You can still be strong. You can direct your words instead of letting them spill. You can say, "Give me a moment," and then speak. You can say, "I am thinking, please continue." These short context lines protect the space. They tell the other person you are engaged. They tell them the silence is part of the work. Body language matters during a pause. Keep your face calm. Do not fix your eyes in a hard stare. Do not smirk. Both can feel like judgment. Keep your shoulders loose. Nod once to show you are present. Breathe. Slow breathing tells your body that it is safe. It tells your voice to stay steady when you speak again. A small change in posture can help. Sit upright. Place your feet flat. These simple moves support a stable tone when the pause ends. There are moments when you need to add a gentle guide. Long silence with no signal can feel strange to some people. A soft line helps. You can say, "Take your time." You can say, "I want to hear the full picture." You can say, "Please finish your thought." These lines show that you are not withdrawing. You are making room. They also lower the fear that you are judging or lost. Do not fear that a pause will slow everything. The pause is short. 2 to 4 seconds pass faster than it feels inside your head. To you, it may feel long the first few times. To the other person, it often reads as care. It reads as attention. It gives them space to bring better data. Over a day, these small gaps save time because you hear what matters the first time. You do not need long loops to fix what speed broke. Use the pause at key points. Use it before your first sentence in a meeting. That first breath sets your tone. Use it after you ask a question. The gap invites a full answer. Use it after you hear a claim that sounds strong. The gap keeps you from rejecting or accepting too fast. Use it when you hear a red flag in yourself. If the words always or never are on your tongue, pause, let them pass. Choose a narrower claim. You can pair the pause with short, clear language. After the gap, keep your sentences under 12 words when you can. End with a steady tone. If you need to ask again, do it in a simple way. You can say, "What would change your mind?" You can say, "Which day works?" You can say, "Who owns this step?" These short questions work well after silence because the other person is ready to add detail. In group settings, a pause has special value. In a room with more than 2 people, fast voices can crowd out quieter ones. A leader can use a pause to open space. Ask a question to the room. Count to 3. Look around with a calm face. When someone starts to speak, let them finish. If one person talks too much, you can pause, then redirect with a simple line. You can say, "I want to hear from 2 more people," then pause again. The room learns the rhythm. More data comes forward. On video calls, silence can be tricky because people fear that the audio failed. You can set a small norm at the start. You can say, "I will pause at times to think or to give room. If the screen freezes, I will say so." This prevents confusion. When you do pause, show you are present. Keep your eyes near the camera. Nod once. If the group waits in doubt, use a short context line, then return to silence. You can say, "I am thinking," then wait 2 seconds more. The call flows. In text and chat, you cannot send silence. You can still build a delay. Type your draft. Stop. Read it once. Ask if any line denies a clear fact, uses an extreme word, or shifts blame. If yes, rewrite those lines. Ask if any part is vague on time or owner. If yes, add 1 date or 1 name. This is silence turned into a written pause. It has the same goal. It moves you from impulse to intention. A common worry is that silence will make you look unsure. This fear is strong when you feel pressure to prove your value. Notice that a pause does not hide your view. It prepares your view. It tells the room that you are here to think with them. It also tells them that you will not rush to a claim you cannot support. People who work with you feel safer when they see that pattern. They bring you better information. They give you clearer questions. Your work improves because the inputs improve. There are pitfalls to avoid. Do not hold eye contact in a hard way during a pause. It can feel like a test. Do not sigh. It can feel like judgment. Do not smile at the wrong time. It can feel like mockery. If you are unsure what your face is doing, practice in front of a camera for 1 minute. Ask a trusted friend for feedback. Ask what your face says when you are quiet. Adjust small tweaks change the whole feel of your silence. When action is due, do not hide in silence. A pause helps you choose, but it does not replace action. If someone is in danger, speak. If a rule is being broken, speak. If bias is shutting someone down, speak. Use clear, brief language that states what you saw, how it affects the work, what you need, and a direct request. You can still take 1 breath first. The breath sets your tone so your words land without extra heat. You can build the pause into your habits with light practice. Before you speak in a tense moment, inhale for a count of 4, hold for 1, and exhale for a count of 6. This slows your body. It gives you time to pick a clean first line. During talks, set a simple rule for yourself. After every question you ask, wait for 3 seconds. After every strong claim you hear, wait for 2 seconds. These are guides, not strict laws. They help you learn the feel of silence so it stops feeling strange. Teach the pause to your team in plain words. Explain that you will leave short gaps on purpose. Invite others to try it. You can add a small ritual. At the start of a meeting, say that you will slow the first sentence after each question. Ask others to wait before jumping in. After a week, Ask the group what changed. You will hear that more people spoke and that ideas had more detail. Keep what works and drop what does not. Silence can reveal gaps in plans. When you ask, "Who owns this step?" and then wait, the room may find that no name is clear. That is useful. You can then assign an owner and a date. When you ask, "What does done mean here?" and wait, the team may see that they each had a different picture. Now you can align. The pause was the tool that showed the truth. Without it, you might have moved on and carried the gap into your timeline. Use silence when you receive praise or blame as well. Praise can pull you into big claims about the future. Blame can push you into defense. In both cases, take a breath. Thank the person. Ask one clear question if you need detail. State one next step. Short, steady lines keep you from overpromising or overreacting. They keep trust steady even when feelings are strong. Some cultures value fast talk. Some value quiet. You cannot change a culture in one day, yet you can set a clear personal pattern. You can say early that you pause to think. You can model how it works. People see the benefits. They copy the parts that help them. Over time, short silences become normal in your circle. The goal is not to force others to be silent. The goal is to show how a small gap raises the quality of the next words. If you worry that a pause will be misread in sensitive talks, add those small context lines. Say, "I want to hear more." Say, "Take your time." Say, "I am thinking." Then hold the space. These words prevent guesswork. They turn silence into a clear signal of care. The other person feels safer. They bring you what matters. Notice how the pause works with the earlier idea of green flags and red flags. Red flags come from denial, extremes, and blame. Green flags come from limited claims, clear terms, and next steps. A pause helps you avoid the red and add the green. It gives you the moment you need to pick a better verb, to name a date, to say a source. It gives you the restraint you need to skip a risky phrase that would drain trust in one breath. There is one more benefit. Silence lets others own their words. When you rush to fill gaps, you own the talk. When you wait, they fill the space with their view. You see how they think. You see how they decide. That gives you better information and fewer surprises. It also shows respect. People feel heard. They become more open. This is not about being passive. It is about making room for the data you do not have yet. Keep this practice light. You do not need to count every second for the rest of your life. Use the pause at key moments. Use it when stakes feel high. Use it when your body wants to rush. Use it when you need the truth more than you need noise. Over time, it will feel natural. You will reach for it without effort. You will see that many problems are smaller when you put space around them before you speak. As you pause more, you will notice something simple. The words you do not say matter. You skip lines that would have hurt your standing. You skip lines that would have made others shut down. You give yourself time to choose better words. Some short lines do the most damage across settings. A pause makes it easier to avoid them and to pick clean replacements that raise trust. Which short lines cost you trust the fastest? Some phrases look small, but they drain confidence in a breath. They send sharp signals that your thinking may be unsafe to rely on. You have seen how first signals form judgments in seconds, and how a pause helps you choose your words. Now it helps to know the specific lines that do the most damage. When you can spot them, you can stop them before they leave your mouth. You do not need drama. You need clear choices that keep you steady when pressure rises. Start with the blame reflex. The line that sounds like, "That is not my fault," can feel natural when something goes wrong. It moves pain away from you for a moment. It also moves repair away from the group. Listeners often hear this as a sign that you will protect your image before you protect the work. It shuts down joint problem solving. People stop sharing facts because they expect a fight over who is clean and who is dirty. Bystanders learn a fast lesson. They see that mistakes bring blame instead of fixes, so they hide small issues until they grow. A quick win for your ego becomes a slow loss for the team. There is a second line that looks harmless on the surface but closes doors. When you say, "I already knew that," you signal that new input is not welcome. The person who speaks to you may have a small update or a nuance you have not seen. They may have a date, a scope, or a risk you missed. Your line tells them to stop. Over time, people bring you less. You then miss changes that matter. The price shows up later as rework and delay. This is not about pretending to be surprised by every fact. It is about keeping the door open to updates that refine your view. Another line hides the path to truth. When you say, "Everyone says," you point to a crowd with no names. The crowd cannot be checked. The words cannot be traced. People with care hear this as rumor dressed up as data. It forces them to chase ghosts or to accept your claim without proof. Both paths raise risk. If you do this often, people label your words as slippery. They protect themselves. They ask for extra checks and slow the work. Clear sources are faster in the end because they let others verify and move. Two lines paint people into corners. You always and you never turn one moment into a permanent trait. They feel strong because they are big. They fail because they are false. No person fits always or never on a real task. These words create defense at once. The person on the other side will search for one counterexample and will throw it back. The talk then shifts from repair to a contest of exceptions. Others in the room pull back because they do not want to be reduced to labels. The issue stays unresolved while feelings rise. A narrow, concrete claim would have kept the path open. Surrender language also drains action. It is common to hear, "It is what it is," when a constraint appears. This line sounds like acceptance. It is also the end of thinking. People who hear it stop looking for options because you told them none exist. When a true wall stands, you can say so and then move to what is still possible. The short line that shuts down possibility tells the room to wait for fate. That posture spreads and becomes a habit. Work quality drops because options stay unseen or untried. Many people use a softener before a hard message. The line, "No offense, but," is one of the most common. It does not soften, it warns. The mind on the other side raises a shield at once. Your next words now land on a defended surface. Even a useful point will be heard as an attack. Others in the room feel the hit too. They brace. They say less. Your intent may be to show care before a critique. The effect is the opposite. Your preface telegraphs harm, and the harm arrives. Another preface looks harmless, but hurts your signal. When you say, "To be honest," you suggest that honesty is a switch. If you need to name it now, what were you doing before? People hear doubt in your baseline integrity. They start to search for tells in your other lines. They test and retest your claims. They demand more proof from you than from others. This costs time and goodwill. You may think you are just saying you will be direct. The words say more than that. They imply that honesty is not your default. There is a short word that ends a talk in one breath. Whatever. It reads as a dismissal of the topic and the person. It says, "I do not care." It says, "I am done with you." Even when you feel fed up, this word tells people that their input has no worth. Bystanders learn that speaking up can earn contempt. They stop trying. Ideas thin out. You lose detail that could have helped you. The line looks small, but it removes the ground under the exchange. One more line aims to calm, but adds heat. Calm down denies the feeling in the room. The person who hears it feels unseen. Their body hears a command and fights it. The feeling rises. The talk shifts from the issue to the order you gave. Others see that strong emotion is not safe near you. They hide real reactions. They nod and smile while they disengage. The surface stays smooth while the work underneath cracks. A small line meant to soothe becomes a spark. Notice how each of these lines reduces one of three things. They reduce accountability, as with the blame shift. They reduce clarity, as with vague crowds and absolute words. They reduce respect, as with dismissive or commanding tones. In fast exchanges, that one drop is enough to turn the tide. You may have 5 clean points ready. You may have strong data. One of these lines can cancel all of that because the mind gives extra weight to danger signs. This tilt is not a flaw to complain about. It is a fact to work with. Think about how these lines play out in a normal week. In a project review, a lead hears about a missed step and says, "That is not my fault." The room then spends 20 minutes on who missed what. The fix waits. In a planning session, a manager says, "Everyone says the timeline is fine." No one wants to challenge a phantom group, so no one raises a real risk. The team moves on and hits a wall later. In a hallway chat, a colleague shares a small update and hears, "I already knew that." The person decides not to bring you quick notes again. Later, you wonder why you are the last to know. The pattern is clear when you zoom out. The small lines cut the flow of facts, options, and effort. Home life shows the same pattern. You always and you never turn one partner into a caricature. The person feels trapped and angry. Repair gets delayed. Whatever tells a child their feeling does not count. The child learns to stop telling you the truth. Calm down tells a friend that their temperature is the problem, not the cause behind it. The friend pulls away. These are not dramatic scenes. They are common scenes where a short line sets the tone of the next hour. Public and online spaces magnify the effect. Text strips tone and body language. When you write, everyone knows, readers cannot check. Many will move on. Some will push back hard. Threads blow up because people are arguing about ghosts. When you type, to be honest, you have already primed doubt. Every sentence after that carries extra weight to prove its truth. When you post, it is what it is. You invite either empty agreement or empty anger. Neither path yields better facts. You might ask, do these lines always damage trust? In most settings, yes, and fast. There are rare moments when a person understands your intent despite the phrase. That is not the point. The point is that these lines carry a high risk of harm for little to no gain. If you can replace them with clean, short lines that keep accountability, clarity, and respect intact, why keep a risky habit? You are not only shaping your own signal, you are shaping the norms around you. People copy what they see works. If your lines keep doors open, others follow suit. Let us look again at why each line triggers such a strong reaction. The mind listens for signs that you see reality, that you own your part, and that you will act in a way that helps the group. That is why denial of facts, exaggeration, and dodging land so hard. That is why surrender and dismissal land so hard. That is why respect markers land so well. When you use a phrase that ignores reality, or rejects nuance or blocks joint action, the mind hears a warning and pulls back. It is not personal. It is protection. There is another layer that matters for leaders and for anyone with influence. When you use these lines, you train the room. If a leader says, "No offense, but," and then fires a harsh shot, others learn that care is a script, not a practice. If a leader says, "It is what it is," when a barrier appears, others learn that options are not valued. If a leader says, "You always miss details," the team learns that people will be labeled and boxed. Over time, good people leave or go quiet. Quiet rooms look calm until the day of a surprise failure. Some of these phrases may be deeply wired for you. You may have grown up with them. You may hear them at work every day. This is not a reason to give up. It is a reason to be specific about your plan. You can choose one phrase to remove this week. You can ask a peer to flag you when you slip. You can put a small card near your keyboard with your no-say lines. When you feel the urge, you can pause for 2 or 3 seconds and pick a cleaner line. This is the path from impulse to intention. It is light and repeatable. You can also listen for these lines in others and guide the talk back to safe ground without shaming anyone. If someone says, "Everyone says," you can ask, "Who said it and when?" If someone says, "You never share updates," you can ask, "Which updates do you mean?" If someone says, "It is what it is," you can ask, "What options remain under this limit?" If someone says, "Calm down," you can say, "Take your time. I am here." These small moves protect the room from the damage of a bad line and model a better way. Tone and timing matter when you avoid these lines. If you skip a risky phrase but keep a sharp tone, you still hurt your signal. If you choose a clean line but rush it, it may land thin. A small pause helps you settle your voice. A steady end helps your words hold weight. Simple delivery supports the content. The lines you choose and the way you carry them work together. You may worry that cutting these phrases will make you sound bland. The aim is not bland speech. The aim is stable, clear, useful speech. You can still be direct. You can still be strong. You can still disagree. You are removing words that block truth and trust. You are keeping words that carry action and respect. As you do this, you will notice fewer loops, fewer flares, and more real progress in the same amount of time. There is one more cost that is easy to miss. When you rely on these lines, you reduce your own learning. Blame blocks feedback. Dismissal blocks data. Absolute words block nuance. Surrender blocks creativity. Commands over feelings block honesty. Each block keeps you from the information and ideas that would improve your judgment. Cutting these lines is not just a gift to others, it is a gift to your own mind. The good news is simple. Clean alternatives exist for every one of these high-risk lines. They are short, they are specific, they point to action, they show what you will do and when. They name sources, they set next steps, they hold respect. You can practice them until they come out, even when stress is high. You can write them down, you can keep them within reach, you can train your mouth to reach for them first. You already have the base you need. You know that first signals set the tone. You know that minds use shortcuts and give extra weight to negative cues. You know that a short pause gives you control over your next words. Now you know the 10 lines that most often drain trust in a breath. When you remove them, you create space for better words to do their work. In your next exchange, choose one moment to hold your fire. Replace one risky phrase with a clean, plain line that keeps accountability, clarity, and respect in the room. What should you say when a risky phrase comes to mind? You already know which short lines drain trust fast. You have seen how a small pause gives you room to choose. Now the task is simple and practical. Replace the harmful line with a clean line that carries care and action. Each replacement is short. Each one shows what you will do or what you are asking for. Each one keeps the door open so people can bring you useful detail. When you practice these lines, they become your default under stress. Start with blame. When something goes wrong, the urge to say, "That is not my fault," can be strong. Trade it for ownership and movement. Say, "Here is my part and my next step." Then fill in the blanks. For example, you can say, "I missed the handoff yesterday. I will send the corrected file by Friday morning." This line does not confess more than the truth. It names your slice and points to action. If others also have a part, they can add it. The room stays on repair, not on judgment. You can use the same form at home. You can say, "I forgot to confirm the pickup. I will call now and arrange a new time." You protect trust because you show that your focus is on fixing, not on hiding. Next is the reflex that closes doors. When you are told something you think you know, the line, "I already knew that," pushes updates away. Replace it with gratitude and a fresh detail. Say, "Thank you. Here is the new detail I missed." Then name the detail. You can say, the volume range is wider than planned. Add a next step if one is clear. You can say, I will update the forecast and send it by the end of the day. This tells the other person that their effort has value. They will bring you more. You stay informed instead of being the last to know. Vague crowds hide truth. When you feel the urge to say, everyone says, move to clear sources. Say source and date and explain how the person knows. For example, you can say, source is Priya's email from last Thursday. She spoke with 6 clients on the new price. If you used account, explain the term. You can add, the number of cases here is 6. That is the sample size. Sample size means how many people or cases you counted. With this line, anyone can check the claim. If the source is weak, that will become clear without drama. If the source is strong, the group can move with confidence. Absolute labels push people into defense. When you feel the words, you always try a pattern line that names moments, not traits. Say, I see this pattern in these moments. Can we review them? Then add the moments. You can say, I see delays on Monday mornings and at month end. Can we look at those 2 times? Now you have placed the issue in time. You invite joint review. You are not naming a permanent flaw in a person. The same approach works at home. You can say, I notice we argue when we try to plan late at night. Can we review a better time to plan? This keeps the talk tied to changeable steps. The cousin of that line is, you never. It erases exceptions and sparks pushback. Replace it with a clear request and a question about blockers. Say, I need this outcome by Friday. What is in the way? Then listen. If there is a real blocker, you will hear it. If there is none, the line sets a firm expectation. You can add help if needed. You can say, if you need a resource, tell me now. This keeps responsibility and respect in balance. The other person is not boxed by a sweeping claim. They are faced with a concrete task and a chance to speak to the obstacle. Surrender language stops thinking. The line, it is what it is, tells people to stop looking for a path. Swap it for a constraint plus options. Say, here is the constraint and 3 options, then lay them out in plain words. You can say, the supplier is closed on weekends. We can split the order across 2 vendors. We can change the delivery date by 2 days, or we can reduce the first shipment. Now, the room has a frame and a choice. People can add a 4th option if they see one. The key is that you did not stop at the wall. You named it and moved to steps. Premature warnings raise shields. When you feel, no offense, but replace it with respect and a concern. Say, I respect you. I have a concern. Then state the concern in 1 sentence. You can say, the budget plan does not include travel costs. Follow with a question or a step. You can say, can we add that line and confirm the total? This form keeps dignity intact while you raise a real issue. People can hear you. They do not have to fight the warning. Honesty signals can backfire. The line, to be honest, makes people wonder what you were before. Replace it with a plain sign of directness. Say, I will be direct. Then share the point with care. You can say, the design does not meet the brief. I suggest we revisit the goals with the client. You have kept your integrity visible without suggesting that honesty is rare in your speech. Dismissal ends the talk. The word whatever says you do not care. Swap it for a clear stance and your reasons. Say, I disagree. Here is my reasoning. Then give the reasoning in short steps. You can say, the timeline misses 2 review cycles we need for sign-off. I propose we extend by 3 days or drop feature 2. This keeps the person in the loop. Your disagreement is real and respectful. You offer a path back to agreement. Heat can rise fast. The command, calm down, denies emotion and adds more heat. Replace it with support and time. Say, take your time. I am here. You can add a prompt that helps the person move. You can say, when you are ready, tell me what matters most. This line does not tell the person how to feel. It tells them you will not punish their feeling. It opens a safe lane back to the issue. At home, you can use the same form. You can say, "Take your time. I am here. When you are ready, we will pick one step to help." These replacements work because they add care and action where the banned lines remove them. They are short. They are specific. They can be checked. They keep the field focused on repairs, updates, sources, and next steps. They shift the picture of your mind from reactive to steady. The words themselves carry some of that weight. The rest comes from the details you add. Details give the lines power. When you say, "Here is my part and my next step," add names and dates. You can say, "I missed the approval from Alex. I will get it by Wednesday noon." When you say, "Thank you, here is the new detail I missed," name the detail and the effect. You can say, "The new tax rule raises cost by 5%. I will adjust the plan." When you say, "Source and date, be exact." You can say, "Source is the finance dashboard run this morning. The period is the past 2 weeks. The count is 30 cases." These tiny facts turn a clean line into a strong line. People can act without guessing. Practice helps you reach for these lines under stress. You can write them on a small card in your own words. Keep it near your keyboard or on your desk. Read it before hard calls. Use it right after a short pause so the right line comes out. You do not need to memorize long scripts. You need a few anchors. A pause gives you the space. The card gives you the words. Over days and weeks, your mouth learns the path. The lines become natural. You can tailor the replacements to fit different settings without losing their core. At work, keep names, dates, and next steps in the sentence. People need to know who owns what and by when. At home, keep requests concrete and kind. People need to know what you need and how to succeed. In public or online, add sources and mark uncertainty on purpose. People need to know what you know, how you know it, and where the edges are. The form is the same, short, specific, and tied to action. Test the effect in small moments. When a partner says, "You never listen," resist the mirror. Use the request form. You can say, "I want to hear you fully. Can we set 10 minutes at 7 in the evening with no phones?" That is a clear ask with a time. It gives both of you a step. When a teammate says, "Everyone is on board," use the source form. You can say, "Who confirmed and when?" If the answer is vague, move the group toward a check. You can say, "Let us ask 3 leads today," and record the answers. When a client says, "It is what it is," use the constraint plus options form. You can say, "The contract caps support hours. We can change scope, add hours for a fee, or split delivery. Which do you prefer?" The pattern holds across scenes. You move from fog to shape. Sometimes you will still feel the pull of the banned line. That is normal. The mind wants quick relief. Your job is to put a breath in the gap and reach for the clean phrase. If you slip, correct fast. If you hear yourself say, "To be honest," follow with, "I will be direct and keep going." If you hear yourself say, "You always," stop and narrow. You can say, "Let me be specific. I mean the last 2 times on Monday." People do not need perfection from you. They need to see that you course correct in real time. It helps to explain your approach to people who work with you often. You can say, "I try to name sources and set next steps so we can move faster." You can say, "I avoid blame and absolute words because they slow us down." This sets an expectation. It also makes it easier to ask for the same care from others. When someone brings a vague claim, you can point to the shared rule. You can say, "Can you add source and date?" When someone drifts to blame, you can nudge back. You can say, "Let us name parts and steps." Listen to how these replacements affect your own state. Accountability plus action reduces worry because you know what you will do next. Gratitude plus update reduces isolation because others keep you in the loop. Source plus date reduces doubt because people can check. Pattern plus review reduces conflict because you look at moments, not identities. Request plus blockers reduces delay because you face reality together. Constraint plus options reduces stuck time because you move to choice. Respect plus concern reduces defense because dignity stays intact. Directness without doubt about honesty reduces friction because people trust your baseline. Reasoned disagreement reduces spin because you focus on logic. Support plus time reduces heat because feelings are not denied. The net effect is that your days feel more workable. You can also use these forms in writing. Start with the clean line. Add the details. Keep it short. For example, in an email you can write, "Here is my part and my next step. I missed the file check. I will send the corrected version by Friday morning." In a message, you can write, "Source is the client contract dated March 1st. Clause 4 sets the limit." In a recap note, you can write, "I need the draft by Tuesday at noon. Tell me any blockers by tonight." Written words carry no tone or face, so the clarity of these forms does even more work. A good check for yourself is to ask, "Can another person act on my sentence?" If the answer is yes, your line is probably clear enough. If the answer is no, add one name, one date, or one step. If a claim has no source, add one. If a feeling is high, add support. If the other person needs to speak more, add a pause. Over time, this check becomes automatic. You hear your own line and you tune it in the moment. There is one more move that strengthens all of this. Pair each clean line with a simple question that keeps the talk moving. After ownership and next step, you can ask, "What else needs repair?" After thanks and new detail, you can ask, "What does this change?" After source and date, you can ask, "Do you want the file?" After pattern and review request, you can ask, "When can we look at those moments?" After request and blockers, you can ask, "What support helps?" After constraint and options, you can ask, "Which option fits?" After respect and concern, you can ask, "How do you see it?" After "I will be direct," you can ask, "Are you open to a hard point now?" After "I disagree" and reasoning, you can ask, "What am I missing?" After support and time, you can ask, "Ready to pick one step?" These small questions keep the exchange in motion without pressure. Clean words do not need to be fancy. They need to be honest, specific, and tied to action. Say only what you mean. State what you will do and when. Name your source when you make a claim. Ask for what you need in plain terms. Offer choices when there is a limit. Keep respect visible when you give hard feedback. Hold your ground with reasons when you disagree. Give time and presence when emotions are high. This is the craft. It is simple to learn and hard to fake. As you use these replacements, notice how often the quality of your voice and your pace change how people receive them. A steady tone, a calm end to each sentence, and a pace that leaves room all help your clean words land as intended. The content is ready. The next gains come from how you carry each line so it holds its shape under pressure. Do your best words still fall flat when you say them out loud? Good content is not enough. How you deliver it decides what people hear and feel. You have built clean replacements for risky phrases. You have learned to pause for a few seconds, so your intent leads your words. Now the work is to make those good words land well. People read tone, pace, and shape as fast as content. They decide if your voice is careful before they process the full idea. With a little care in delivery, you protect your message and help others stay open. Start with the shape of a sentence. Short sentences carry weight. Aim for sentences with fewer than 12 words when the point matters. Short lines cut filler and reduce tangles that hide meaning. They help you finish your thought without drifting into extra clauses that create confusion. When you use short lines, you also give your listener more chances to join in. A tight line followed by a pause invites a response. A long chain closes the door and raises the odds of a misread. How you end a sentence matters as much as how you start it. End statements with a steady tone. If your voice rises at the end of a statement, it can sound unsure. If your voice drops too hard, it can sound hostile. Find a calm line that tells the room your point is complete. A clean end is a stop sign for your mouth, and a green light for others to speak. If you hear yourself trailing off, stop, breathe once, and land the next sentence cleanly. Filler words weaken your signal. Common fillers are, like, kind of, sort of, basically, and actually. They slide in when your mouth outruns your mind. The easiest way to cut them is to replace them with a short pause. Silence is better than filler because silence reads as thought. At first, the pause will feel long to you. To others, it will feel normal. A simple trick helps. Once a day, record a short practice read of a paragraph. Circle the fillers. Read it again with one slow breath between sentences. You will hear the shift. Over time, this habit shows up in real talks without effort. Control your pace on purpose. Slow your first sentence. That first breath tells the room you are careful. After that, match the other person's pace without racing. If they speak fast, you can add a little speed without losing shape. If they speak slowly, you can ease back. Leave small gaps between points. Those gaps are where questions appear and where corrections happen before small errors grow. Do not stack 3 claims in one go. Deliver one point, pause, then add the next. This rhythm keeps a shared track. Ask clear questions. A question is not a statement in disguise. Lines that start with "do not you think" or "would not you agree" often feel like pressure. They close the mind instead of opening it. Use plain questions. Ask what, how, when, who, and which. Ask why only when the room is calm, and even then, use care because it can feel like a challenge. If you need a yes or no, make it clear. If you need detail, use an open question. Then stop and wait. The answer will be better if you do not pack the question with your own view. Manage volume with more attention than you think you need. If your volume spikes, people brace. If it fades, they strain and miss facts. Keep a stable level with a warm edge. You can guide your volume with posture. Sit upright, keep your shoulders loose, place your feet flat. When your body is stable, your breath is steady. A steady breath supports a steady voice. If you feel your volume creeping up, lower it by 1 notch and slow your next sentence. If a room is noisy, raise your volume a little and slow your pace so shape stays clear. Articulation helps more than force. Clear words beat loud words. Shape consonants at the ends of words. Open vowels in the middle. Do a simple warm-up before an important talk. Read a few lines out loud, focusing on finishing each word. This takes 1 minute and clears the fog from your mouth. If a key term is hard to hear, repeat it once, slowly. Do not rush past it. Important words deserve space around them. Your face and hands speak too. Keep your face calm. Avoid a tight jaw or a fixed smile. Both can look strange under stress. Use one nod to show you are listening. Use your hands to support structure. One small gesture for point 1, another for point 2, and then rest. Big, fast gestures can distract and create noise around your words. Stillness at the right time shows control and gives weight to your next line. Video calls add a few details. Place the camera at eye level if you can. Look near the lens when you make a key point. People feel more connected when your eyes face them. Keep your microphone close enough that you do not need to push volume. If you need time to think, say so. A simple, "I am thinking, please continue" keeps trust while you pause. If the connection breaks, say the line again calmly without blaming the tools. Delivery includes how you handle glitches. A steady presence during small problems builds confidence in big ones. When you disagree, delivery matters even more. Say, "I disagree. Here is my reasoning," with a flat, calm tone. Do not load the phrase with sarcasm. Do not lean on volume to add force. Your reasons do the work. One reason per sentence helps. If you sense heat, put a soft pause between your reason and your ask. Then invite a counter. You can say, "What am I missing?" When the room hears this pattern, it stays in problem-solving mode. When you give hard feedback, shape matters. Start with respect if you feel it, then state the concern in one sentence. Name the effect on the work. Offer one next step. End clean. Do not stack 3 points or read a long list. Let the person respond. If they need a moment, give it. If they ask for examples, provide them with dates and short descriptions. Stay with behavior and process, not identity. Your calm tone and clear shape help the message land without extra harm. When you share numbers, slow down. Numbers are easy to miss at high speed. Say the number and the unit. Say the source and the time window. Leave a short gap after each so people can note them. If a number matters, write it where others can see it, or paste it into the chat. Delivery is not only sound, it is how you place data so it can be used. Self-review is a fast way to improve delivery. Record short calls or practice clips with consent. Listen for moments where tone undercut your message. It might be a rising tone on a statement that made you sound unsure. It might be a hard drop that made you sound angry. It might be a rush after a question that cut off a good answer. Mark one such moment and decide one fix. Then apply that fix on your next call. Do not try to fix 10 things at once. One change held for a week works better than many half changes that do not stick. You can run small drills that take only minutes and create strong habits. A simple drill is the 12-word read. Pick a paragraph. Break each sentence into fewer than 12 words. Read it out loud. Feel how the short shape forces clarity. Keep the core idea. Drop extra filler. This teaches your mouth the cadence of tight lines. Another drill is the steady ending practice. Read a set of statements and finish each with a flat, steady tone. If your voice rises, try again. If it drops too hard, try again. Do this for 1 minute. The third drill is the pace mirror. Take a short clip of a person who speaks with calm rhythm. Listen once. Then speak your own point while matching their pace, not their words. This trains your timing. These drills are light. They build muscle memory without strain. Before important talks, a small routine helps. Sit up, place your feet flat, and roll your shoulders once. Inhale for a count of 4, hold for 1, exhale for a count of 6. Think of your first sentence. Keep it short. Decide your main ask. Keep it short. Plan to pause after you ask. These steps take less than 1 minute and change the feel of the first moments. The first moments shape the rest. Delivery also travels into writing. You do not have tone or body language, so shape and timing show up in structure. Put your main point in the first sentence. Keep lines short. Use one idea per sentence. End with a clear ask or a next step. If a long thread is heating up, apply a 3-turn cap for yourself. Ask one question. Reflect back what you heard in one line. Propose one next step with a date. Then stop. Suggest a call if needed. This is delivery in text form. It shows care and reduces loops. Group settings need a small adjustment. When many people are present, your delivery can either crowd or open space. Ask a question to the room. End the sentence cleanly. Count to 3 in your head. Do not answer your own question. If a loud voice jumps in every time, look at another person and invite them with a name and a short prompt. Keep your tone neutral. This move spreads airtime. It improves the information you receive. Your delivery becomes part of the group's system for thinking. Delivery supports the clean replacements you learned. Take the line, "Here is my part and my next step." If you rush it or say it with a brittle tone, it may sound forced. If you slow it, add a name and a date, and end steady, it sounds real. Take the line, "I will be direct." If your voice rises at the end, it sounds unsure. If you land it flat and then state the point, it sounds honest. Take the line, "I disagree. Here is my reasoning." If you stack 5 reasons fast, people hear noise. If you offer one reason, pause, and invite a response, people hear logic. Delivery is the bridge between intent and impact. It helps to notice small tells in your own voice. Some people speed up when nervous. Some people soften their voice until it fades. Some people laugh when they feel pressure. None of these are moral flaws. They are habits. If you know your habit, you can plan a counter. Speed meets a forced pause after sentence 1. Soft volume meets a deeper breath and a lifted chin. Nervous laughter meets a silent count of 2 before the next line. With practice, the tells fade and your message carries. There are moments when delivery must adjust in real time. If someone interrupts, you can choose to finish your sentence with a steady tone. Then you can invite them to go next. If the room shifts off track, you can restate the goal in one short line and ask a focused question. If emotions rise, you can lower your volume and slow your pace without losing clarity. Your control of these levers calms the room. It shows that you can steer without force. Pay attention to pronunciation of names and key terms. Ask people how to say their name if you are unsure. Repeat it correctly. This simple act respects the person and removes a small source of friction. If a term is new to the group, define it in simple words before you use it. Jargon shuts doors when people do not share a base. Plain words open doors. If a technical term is necessary, add a short, clear meaning. Delivery includes the words you choose and the way you make them easy to follow. In long sessions, your energy will shift. Plan breaks for your voice. Drink water. Stand up for 1 minute between calls if you can. Tired voices slip into monotone or harsh edges. Both reduce your signal. If a call runs long and you feel your delivery sliding, name it. Say, "I need 1 minute," then take it. Come back steady. The room will value the clarity you bring more than the extra minute you tried to push through. You can also tune your delivery to invite correction. Say, "My view may be incomplete. Here is what I see and the source," with a calm tone. Then pause. When people feel that you welcome accurate input, they give it. This keeps you out of loops and helps you update fast. If you are wrong, correct yourself cleanly. Say, "I was wrong on that detail. The correct source shows a different number. I have updated the plan." End the line steady. Your tone tells people that truth matters more than pride. That tone builds trust. Small, steady practice moves all of this from effort to ease. Light drills done daily shape your default under stress. Your aim is not a perfect voice. Your aim is a voice that carries careful thought without adding harm. You already have the clean phrases. Delivery gives them a stable frame. With a few minutes of practice each day, your voice, your pace, and your posture will support your message even when stakes are high. The work is simple. Breathe before you speak. Keep sentences tight. End steady. Cut filler. Ask clear questions. Hold a brief pause. Review one clip. Apply one fix. These moves stack into a habit that protects your credibility and invites better input every time you speak. How do you turn careful speech into a daily habit you can trust under stress? You have clean phrases ready. You know how to pause for a few seconds and how to carry a steady tone. Now the aim is to make this way of speaking automatic. Habits carry you when pressure rises. You do not want to rely on willpower each time. You want a few simple drills you can run anywhere. These drills are short. They take little time. They help you move from impulse to intention again and again until it becomes your default. Begin with your breath. Before you speak, inhale for a count of 4, hold for a count of 1, and exhale for a count of 6. This is a small reset. It slows your body just enough so your mind can choose. Use it before you start a meeting, before you answer a tough question, and when you feel heat in your chest or neck. If you need more than 1 round, do 2 rounds. Keep your face calm while you breathe. After the breath, Choose your first sentence. Keep it short. End it steady. This one routine is the base of the whole skill. Carry one pocket question for tense moments. A pocket question is a short line you can ask in any room to focus the talk. Use only one at a time. Good options are, what problem are we solving? Or what decision is due today? Or what evidence would change your mind? Pick one of these and keep it in your head for a week. When tension rises, ask it and then stop. Wait for the answer. One tight question cuts fog. It brings facts to the front. It moves minds from blame or drama to action. If you throw 3 questions in a row, you create noise. One is enough. Set a 3-response cap when a thread heats up. A cap is a limit you choose in advance. In a heated email or chat, give yourself 3 turns. In the first turn, ask one clear question that will move the work. In the second turn, reflect back what you heard in one short line so the other person knows you understood. In the third turn, propose one next step with a day and time. Then stop and wait. If answers keep looping, suggest a short call. This cap prevents long ping-pong that burns time and trust. It also trains you to focus on steps instead of winning a back and forth. Build a no-say card for your own triggers. A no-say card is a small reminder of lines you will not use. Write down the phrases that cause fast harm for you. Add any personal lines you tend to slip into under stress. Keep the card near your keyboard or camera. Read it once in the morning and once at lunch. When you feel a banned line climb into your mouth, glance at the card, pause for 2 seconds, and use a clean replacement. Over days, you will feel the urge less often because your mouth learns a new path. Track simple counts so you can see progress. Count how many times you pause before speaking in a meeting. Count how many banned phrases you stop before they land. Count how often you use your pocket question. You can keep a small tally on a sticky note or in a private note on your phone. If you slip, do not punish yourself. Reset the count and keep going. Numbers make habits real because you can see them move. Aim to raise your pause count by a small amount each week. Aim to reduce your slips by a small amount each week. Light tracking is enough. Make a pre-call routine that takes less than 1 minute. Sit up. Place your feet flat. Inhale for 4, hold for 1, exhale for 6. Read your no-say card. Pick your pocket question. Decide your first sentence. Keep it under 12 words. Decide your main ask if you have one. Keep it short. When the call starts, land your first sentence steady and then pause. This routine guards the first moments, which often shape the rest. Use a 3-beat rhythm to keep your delivery clean while you drill. Think point, pause, ask. Say one point in one short sentence. Pause for 2 seconds. Ask a clear question if input is needed. Then wait. This rhythm reduces filler and stops you from stacking claims. It also gives others a turn without you forcing it. If no question is needed, use the pause to let your point land and to watch the room. Drill with low-stakes practice once a day. Read a short paragraph out loud and force each sentence under 12 words. This trains clarity and helps you cut filler words. Then read 3 statements and end each with a flat, steady tone. This trains your endings. Then speak for 30 seconds while matching a calm pace you choose. This trains timing. The whole practice can be done in 2 or 3 minutes. The goal is not performance. The goal is to build muscle memory so your voice carries care without effort. Create a simple rule for questions in live settings. After you ask, you wait for 3 seconds. You do not answer your own question. You do not fill the space. This trains your tolerance for quiet and teaches others that you will give them room. If silence stretches in a way that feels odd, add a small context line such as, "Take your time and keep waiting." The detail you hear after that wait often saves you from extra rounds later. Use the 3-response cap in real cases and log the result. Pick a heated thread from work. Apply the cap. Ask one question, reflect one line, propose one next step with a day and time. If the other person sends a long reply that does not move the step, suggest a short call and stop typing. After the thread ends, check your notes. Did the cap cut loops? Did a call solve it faster? If yes, keep the cap. If not, adjust. This is how drills become tools that match your context. Practice a direct apology format so you can recover fast when you slip. Say, "I was wrong about that detail." Then state the correction and the source. Then state one action. Keep all three parts short. Do not add excuses. Do not add blame. This drill protects your credibility. It shows that you care more about the truth and the repair than about being right. Practice the line out loud once a week so it is ready when you need it. Create a short template for source-backed claims. Say the fact, the source, the time frame, and the sample size if it applies. Then pause. Example structures help. You can say, "The open rate was 30%. Source is the email report run this morning. Time frame is the past 2 weeks. Sample size is 30 messages." Practice this format with made-up numbers during your daily drills so you can do it fast when it matters. When the moment comes, you will fill it with real data. Train your ear to catch absolute words before they leave your mouth. Words like always, never, everyone, and nobody often trigger defense. When you hear one in your head, stop and narrow the claim. Name the pattern and the times. Or turn it into a request with a date. This is a micro drill you can do anywhere. It teaches you to swap big claims for bounded claims. It keeps talks tied to facts and steps. Build a small reset for moments of heat. When you feel anger or fear rise, say in a calm voice, "Give me a moment," and then pause for 2 breaths. The line buys time without rejecting the other person. It announces your pause as a choice, not a withdrawal. After 2 breaths, use a clean line tied to action. The more you rehearse this move, the more it will be there when you need it. Involve your body on purpose. Good delivery rests on calm posture. Sit or stand with your spine tall and your shoulders loose. Keep your jaw unclenched. Place your feet flat. This position supports steady volume and pace. Tie this to your breath drill. When your body is steady, your tone stays even without extra effort. Do a quick posture check before each talk. This takes a few seconds and protects your signal for the next minutes. Run a daily check-in that takes less than 3 minutes. After your last meeting before lunch, write one short line about a moment you handled well and one short line about a moment you want to redo. For the redo, write the clean replacement you will use next time. Keep this note private. The act of writing sets the plan in your mind. It strengthens the link between the cue and the new line. Use small anchors through the day. Put a dot on the corner of your screen as a pause reminder. Put your no-say card where your eyes land before you hit send. Set a one-line reminder at 7 in the morning and at 1 in the afternoon that says, "Breathe, pause, pick one question." These anchors are simple cues. They bring the drills to mind when you need them, not only when you are fresh. Practice the 3-part structure for heated calls so it is ready. Start with one question that defines the goal. Move to one reflection that shows you heard their view. End with one proposal tied to a day and time. If the other person keeps looping, return to the goal question. This structure keeps the talk moving without force. It also cuts the urge to use banned lines because you have a plan to follow. Use your drills at home so they stick deeper. When a partner raises a concern, take one breath, then say, "I want to understand. What problem are we solving?" When a child is upset, take one breath, then say, "Name what you feel." Then we pick one action. When tempers rise, say, "Take your time. I am here." These lines are short. They are clear. They keep respect and action in balance. They also give you steady practice in a safe setting. Invite honest input about your progress in a light way. Ask one trusted person to flag one improvement they saw this week and one drift. Keep the feedback request small so it gets done. When you receive it, thank them. Add one drill to your plan based on what they said. If they note that your voice rises at the end of statements, run your steady endings drill for 1 minute a day for a week. Then ask again next week. This loop is friendly and specific. Avoid overbuilding the routine. You do not need 10 drills at once. Pick 2 or 3 and hold them for a week. The breath drill is core. The pocket question is helpful. The 3 response cap cuts loops. The no-say card protects you under stress. These 4 cover most situations. Add more only when they are natural. Habits stick when they are light. Do not let drills replace action when action is due. If someone is in danger, or if a rule is being broken, or if a bias is closing a voice, speak clearly and early. Use one breath to set your tone, and then use plain words to name what you saw, how it affects outcomes, what you need, and a direct request. Your drills help you speak cleanly. They do not excuse delay. Use consent when you record yourself for review. Let people know if you record a call. If consent is not possible, practice alone with a voice note. Listen for 1 minute and mark one thing to change, then stop. You do not need to be your own critic for long. You need a simple pathway from awareness to one small change. Keep a simple end of day reset. Write 3 lines. The first line is one moment when you paused and it helped. The second line is one clean replacement you used. The third line is one place you want to apply the 3 response cap tomorrow. These lines take less than 2 minutes. They close the day with attention and open the next day with a plan. Use your environment to help you. If you work at a desk, place your no-say card where your eyes rest. If you work on the move, put your card as the lock screen on your phone. If you use a whiteboard, write your pocket question at the top. Physical cues beat memory. They also show others that you care about careful language. Some will copy you. That makes your day easier because shared habits reduce friction. Notice how these drills support the clean replacements you learned earlier. Ownership lines become easier when the breath drill gives you space. Source-backed claims become easier when your pocket question pulls for facts. Calm endings become easier when you run your steady tone drill. The 3 response cap stops long loops where banned lines tend to appear. The no-say card blocks risky reflexes before they land. It all fits together in daily life without extra strain. A final point keeps the system honest. Track outcomes that matter, not only behaviors. Notice when a pause led to a better decision. Notice when a pocket question saved 10 messages. Notice when a no-say catch kept a talk on track. These results are why the drills exist. When you see them, you will keep going. When you do not see them, adjust. Try another pocket question. Move your card to a place you cannot miss. Change your pre-call sentence. Small changes keep the practice alive. When your drills run on light effort, you will feel a shift. You will speak less, but say more. You will listen with patience because you are not fighting your own urge to rush. You will carry a steady tone even when others do not. You will own your part and move to action without drama. This steady picture of your mind invites trust. It also makes it easier to build shared rules at work that protect careful speech for everyone. What would change if careful language was the default in your team? Small shared rules make careful speech easier for everyone. You already know how your first signals shape trust, how minds use shortcuts, how a short pause helps, which phrases to avoid, how to replace them, how to deliver them well, and how to drill the habit. Now the focus shifts from the single speaker to the group. A team can build a setting where clear words, steady tone, and good timing are normal. When this setting exists, people do not have to fight the room to speak with care. They can spend their energy on the work. Start with a simple idea. A norm is a short rule that people agree to follow. It is visible in action. It does not need long speeches to explain it. It should make work smoother, not heavier. A strong set of norms protects thinking and reduces fear. It invites better data and earlier risk signals. It also gives a fair base for feedback, so people can improve without shame. You can add these rules to your next meeting without a big program. A few lines, repeated often, will be enough. There is a norm about the order of voices. When the person with the highest title speaks first, others often hold back or change their input. To protect real ideas, let leaders go last in idea rounds. The leader can open with the question and the scope, then invite others to speak. The leader listens, takes notes, and adds their view at the end. This is not about power games. It is about letting the group show what it knows before the shape of the answer hardens. Over a few meetings, people learn that early input is safe and useful. You will hear more facts and more possible paths. Airtime is another area where a small rule helps. Many meetings are shaped by the fastest voice. A two-turn rule creates space. Each person gets one turn before anyone takes a second. A facilitator can keep track on a sheet. If someone tries to take a second turn too early, the facilitator can say in a calm tone, "Let us hear from others first." This rule increases the range of data and reduces the pressure to race. It is not stiff. It is a gentle gait that reminds the group to make room. Numbers and claims need a norm too. When people give a number, they should name the source and the date. If the count is relevant, they should add it. If a link exists, they should include it. A primary source means the first record where the data was produced, not a summary or a repost. When this habit takes hold, the room stops arguing about rumors and starts working with records. It is faster in the end because fewer loops form. People can check and move on. Reviews should focus on behavior and process, not identity. When a handoff fails, talk about the steps and the gaps, not about whether a person is careless. Identity talk creates shame and shuts minds down. Behavior and process talk keeps the focus on what can change. A helpful line is, "The handoff missed 3 checks. We will add a checklist and a time buffer of 1 day." That line states what happened and names a fix without labels. Over time, this form keeps the group honest without making people hide. When a mistake appears, the first question matters. If the first question is, "Who is to blame?" people start to defend. If the first question is, "What happened?" they start to explain the chain of events. Choose the second one. It pulls for facts. It reduces fear. It also helps you see how the system shaped the error. Maybe the policy was unclear. Maybe the tool hid a key field. Maybe the handoff was rushed because a deadline changed. Facts guide the fix. Meetings move better with light structure. Share a short agenda that names the decisions due. Decisions due means the choice the room must make today. During the talk, track open risks with an owner and a date. At the end, record 3 next steps, each tied to a name and a deadline. Keep each step short and concrete. If a topic starts to sprawl, use a time box. A time box is a clear limit in minutes that you set for a topic. When the time ends, you decide whether to extend or to park the item. A parking list is a simple note of items that need work outside the meeting with an owner and a date. These small tools stop drift. They do not add weight. They add shape. Interruptions need attention. Frequent crosstalk hides good ideas. You can establish a no interruption rule for key parts of the meeting. During updates and during first answers, no one cuts in. Questions come after. If someone interrupts, the facilitator says in a calm tone, "Let us hear the full point. Then we will take questions." This keeps the pace respectful and prevents strong voices from crowding out quieter ones. Questions also benefit from a shared rule. When someone asks a question, the room waits for 2 to 4 seconds before anyone jumps in. This short pause invites full answers and reduces rush. You can set this norm by saying at the start, "We use short pauses after questions so we get full answers." People adjust quickly. The pause will feel normal after a few meetings. Tone matters at the group level. Set the expectation that statements end with a steady tone and that people avoid filler. If this sounds rigid, remember that steady tone reduces misread intent. It prevents a calm point from sounding unsure or hostile. You can model this by speaking your own lines with care. You can support others by thanking them when they land a clear line. Reinforcement works better than scolding. People tend to keep what earns notice. Disagreement needs a path. A team that avoids disagreement loses accuracy. A team that fights without structure loses time. A simple path is, "I disagree. Here is my reasoning," followed by one reason per sentence. Then a pause. Then an invite for a counter. You can teach this path in 1 minute at the start of a project. You can use it yourself when the first test comes. Once people see that strong disagreement can be calm and short, they will use it. The quality of decisions will rise. Shared language for uncertainty helps too. Ask people to mark uncertainty on purpose. A line like, "My view may be incomplete. Here is what I see and the source," keeps the door open for updates and keeps claims within their true scope. This is not weakness. It is accuracy. It also reduces friction because people are not forced to defend more than they meant to say. Set a norm for recap notes after meetings. A recap is a short message sent to the group with decisions made, who owns which step, and by when. Keep it brief. The goal is to prevent drift. If a point is unclear, the recap is the place to fix it fast. A clear recap also helps people who could not attend. They can see what changed without guessing. Over time, this practice reduces the number of follow-up emails and surprise disagreements. On internal chat, apply the same care as in voice. Short lines, clear asks, named sources, and dates move work forward. If a thread heats up, the 3 response cap helps. You can also add a team note that says, "When a thread loops, we move to a short call." This reduces long delays that come from typing walls of text while feelings rise. The call can be short. It can follow the goal, reflect, propose shape you learned earlier. Hiring and onboarding are moments to teach norms. Share a short note that lists the core rules in plain words. Leaders go last in idea rounds. 1 turn each before seconds. Source and date for numbers. Behavior and process in reviews. What happened? Not who is to blame. Decisions due at the top of agendas. Risks with owners and dates. 3 next steps with names and deadlines. 2 to 4 second pauses after questions. Recap notes same day. A new person should hear these from a human and see them in action. Written words and lived words should match. Leaders must model the norms under pressure. People watch the hard days more than the easy ones. If a leader keeps steady tone, uses clean phrases, and holds the 2-turn rule when the room is tense, others will follow. If a leader breaks rules when stressed, the rules fade. The fix is not perfection. The fix is visible correction. When you slip, name it and reset. You can say, "I spoke too early. Let me hear others first." That one line restores the norm. A feedback loop keeps norms healthy. Once a week, ask the team one small question. What helped this week and what got in the way? Keep answers short. Use one fix the next week. Do not change 5 things at once. Small, steady changes keep trust. They show that norms are for the team, not for show. They also help you avoid rules that add friction without reducing risk. Metrics can be simple. Count the number of decisions made in a meeting. Count the number of times a source was named. Count the number of times the 2-turn rule was used. Count the number of issues raised early before they became urgent. You do not need dashboards. A few tallies on a sheet are enough. If the numbers drift down, revisit the norms. Ask what needs to change. This turns culture into something you can steer, not just describe. Risk reporting benefits from a calm path. Set a norm that saying a risk early earns thanks and help, not blame. A simple line works. Thank you for raising this. What do you need to reduce the risk by one step? That line invites action. It tells the room that risk is part of the work, not a sign of failure. It also makes weak signals safer to share. Weak signals are small hints that something may go wrong. They are easy to miss when people fear blame. This norm brings them forward in time to act. Cross-team work needs clarity on roles. When two groups share a task, name a single owner for each step. An owner is the person who will make sure the step happens. Do not leave steps with a group label. A group label hides who will act. Set dates that are real. If a step depends on another step, show that link in the recap. This is basic, yet many teams skip it. The result is drift and surprise. Language for time should be exact. Soon and later are yellow flags. Replace them with a day and a time. Use plain terms like Monday morning or Thursday at 2 in the afternoon. If a time zone matters, name it. Exact time language prevents missed expectations. It also helps people plan their day. When you model this, others copy it without effort. Norms also cover praise. Praise is fuel when it is specific. Vague praise feels nice and changes nothing. Tell people exactly what they did that helped the work. You can say, your recap named owners and dates. That kept us on track. This shows what to repeat. It sets a standard for others. It keeps the focus on behavior and process, not identity. There are moments when silence harms. If you see someone being talked over, or if a rule is being broken, or if someone is at risk, speak early with clear, brief language. Say what you saw, how it affects outcomes, what you need, and make a direct request. You can say, you spoke over Priya twice. We lost her data on the client. I need us to hear her now. Priya, please continue. This is not about drama. It is about protecting the conditions for good work. When you act this way, you teach the room how to act when it matters. Remote work adds small twists. Video calls benefit from a few extra lines. Begin by saying that short pauses are normal. Invite people to use the raise hand feature if it helps bring order. Ask people to put sources or files in the chat as they speak, with the date and a short label. When a person's audio fails, do not blame the tool. Ask them to repeat. Keep your tone steady. Delivery norms still apply. The medium changes, not the core. Documentation is the memory of a team. Keep it light and usable. Place decisions, sources, owners, and dates where people can find them. Use clear names for files. Update records when facts change. If you do not know where to put something, ask and decide once. Teams that store their thinking well do not need to reteach the same points each month. That saved effort goes to actual work. Teach the banned phrases and the clean replacements to the whole team. Do it in a short session with examples from your own work. Practice the swaps out loud. Then encourage people to catch themselves and each other with care. When someone says, everyone says, ask, who said it and when? When someone says, calm down, offer, take your time, I am here. This is not about shaming. It is about keeping small cracks from spreading. A simple way to start is to pick one meeting and one norm. State it at the top, model it, review it at the end. If it helps, keep it and add one more next time. If it does not help, adjust or drop it. Within a month, you will have a set of rules that fit your team. They will feel natural because they grew from your real needs. They will also travel with people into other rooms, which spreads the benefit. Shared norms at work support the personal skills you built. They make pauses normal. They make source habits routine. They make clear asks and clean endings part of the air. They reduce the pull of blame and drama because the group has a path it trusts. You will notice fewer loops, faster fixes, and steadier judgment across the week. You will also notice that these same patterns help in other parts of life. Clear requests, shared timing, and short recaps reduce friction at home, and a delay before posting keeps public talk accurate. The craft stays the same while the setting changes. Do your words at home and online help people trust you? The same small signals that shape trust at work show up in living rooms, kitchens, group chats, and public posts. Clear words, a steady tone, and a short pause work anywhere people listen and decide. At home, labels and blame close hearts fast. In public and online, loose claims spread quickly and then stick. You do not need new skills for these places. You reuse the same tools with small adjustments. When you make requests instead of labels, when you add time and source, when you build a short delay before you hit send, you reduce harm and raise the chance of useful outcomes. Start with home life. Partners and family members move through busy days and tired nights. Short tempers meet short windows. A label such as "you never listen" adds heat and removes paths. A clear request adds shape and invites a fair yes or a fair no. You can say, "I need undivided attention for 10 minutes at 7 in the evening. Does that work?" This sentence has a time and a scope. It does not judge, it asks. If 7 in the evening does not work, the other person can propose 8 in the evening or another day. You are now planning, not accusing. Timing helps with kids too. Calm down often makes a child feel alone. A line that names the feeling and points to a step pulls them back to the ground. You can say, "Name what you feel." Then we pick one action. If they say, "I am angry," you can offer one small action such as 2 deep breaths, a glass of water, or writing one line about the problem. The action is small on purpose. It gives a sense of movement without making demands that feel far away. Once the heat lowers, you can ask one simple question such as, "What matters most right now?" The child learns that feelings are allowed and that action follows. Conflict needs structure to prevent spirals. A simple timer changes the shape of a hard talk. Set 2 minutes for one person, then 2 minutes for the other, with no interruption. After both sides speak, write one shared next step on paper and add a day and a time. Keep the steps small and concrete, such as, "On Wednesday at 6 in the evening, we will review the budget for 20 minutes. Or, on Saturday morning, we will plan chores for the week." The timer does 2 things. It keeps airtime fair, and it stops the loop of long back and forth. The written step prevents drift and gives both sides a clear path when the talk ends. After a hard talk, send a short recap text to prevent confusion. The recap can be simple. You can write, "We agreed that I will email the school by Thursday morning. You will call the dentist by Friday noon. We will revisit on Sunday evening." This is not formal. It is a memory tool. It stops the common problem where different people leave with different pictures. It also lowers stress because each person knows what to do and when to do it. At home, the habit of naming time is kind. Words like later and soon create yellow flags because they are vague. Replace them with a day and a time. Instead of, "We will talk later," say, "We will talk on Tuesday at 8 in the evening." Instead of, "I will fix it soon," say, "I will fix it by Saturday afternoon." This small shift takes guesswork out of the day and reduces small resentments that build when expectations do not match. Respect shows in how you handle corrections. When you miss the mark, use a clean apology that moves to repair. You can say, "I was wrong about the schedule. The event is next week. I will update the calendar tonight." Keep it short. Do not add long explanations. Your action will do more to fix trust than a long story. When others correct you, show that you can receive it. You can say, "Thank you. I missed that detail," and then add what you will do next. People relax around you when they see that truth flows without punishment. Family routines can reflect simple norms that help groups think. You can give each person one turn before anyone takes a second turn during a planning talk. You can start by naming the decisions due, such as, we need to decide the weekend plan and the grocery list. You can end by naming 3 next steps with names and times, such as, Sam will order groceries by Thursday evening. Jordan will confirm the soccer time by Friday morning, and we will go over the plan on Friday night. These lines keep the group aligned. They also teach kids how to think in steps and time, which is a strong life skill. Digital life at home benefits from clear bounds. When you ask for focus, say what you mean. You can say, phone's in the drawer from 7 in the evening to 7:30 so we can talk for 20 minutes. A clear window lets everyone prepare. A vague ask creates a fight. If you need to step away from a talk to handle a message, name it and set a prompt return. You can say, I need 5 minutes to reply to this urgent text. I will be back at 7:15. You protect trust by making your short absence clear and finite. Neighbors and community settings also test your language. In a building meeting or a parent group, you can use the same clean forms. When you raise a concern, start with respect if you feel it. State the concern in one sentence. Name the effect. Offer one next step. Keep the tone flat. End clean. For example, you can say, I respect the work on the playground plan. The current design removes 2 benches used by older residents. I suggest we add 1 bench near the entrance. Can we review the layout on Thursday at 6 in the evening? Clear, short requests move community work forward without hidden heat. Now, move to public and online spaces. These spaces reward speed, but accuracy needs a delay. Build a default delay before you post or share. Draft your message. Save it. Step away for 30 minutes. Return and read it once out loud. Ask 3 simple checks. Ask whether a claim denies a clear fact or uses an extreme word. Ask whether a claim has a primary source. A primary source is the first record that created the data or statement, not a repost or a summary. Ask whether your tone invites correction without heat. If any of these fail, rewrite. If you cannot find a primary source, do not repeat the claim. The delay adds a layer of care that lowers the chance of spreading errors and lowers the chance of drama that adds no value. When you state a fact online, add the source and the date. If you can, add a link to the primary source. For example, you can write, the policy changed in March. Source is the agency notice dated March 3rd. When you use a number, include the time window and the count if relevant. You can write, the response rate was 30% over the past 2 weeks with 30 replies. These small markers allow others to check and engage with the same base. They also help you correct yourself later without shame because you can update the source and the time window. Quotes should carry context, not fragments. If you share a line from someone, add 1 sentence that states the situation and the date. Without context, readers fill gaps with guesses. With context, they can assess the point fairly. If context is missing, pause and look for it. If you cannot find it, say so and lower the weight of your claim. You can write, my view may be incomplete. Here is what I see and the source. I could not find the full clip. This signals care and invites others to help. Invite correction with a specific ask and a time frame. You can write, point me to data that shows a different result within 1 week. If it holds, I will adjust. The time frame matters because it focuses the search and prevents endless loops. When someone provides better data, thank them and update openly. You can write, I was wrong on the previous claim. The correct source shows a different number. I have edited the post. This builds a reputation for accuracy and fairness over time. When threads heat up, use the 3 response cap you already practice. Ask 1 clear question that focuses on the claim or the decision. Reflect 1 short line to show you heard the other person. Propose 1 next step or 1 source check. Then stop typing. If the loop continues, suggest a short call. If a call is not possible, step back for a day. A day of quiet can reduce heat and prevent errors you would regret. You can return later with a calmer mind and a cleaner line. Mark uncertainty on purpose. Online life often punishes doubt, but you do not need to trade doubt for noise. Pair uncertainty with action. You can write, I am unsure about the budget impact. I will ask finance for last quarter and report back tomorrow. You can write, I do not know if this claim is true. I need a primary source from the agency. Please share it if you have it. These lines do not weaken your voice. They show that you care about truth more than a quick take. When you disagree in public, keep the form that protects respect. You can write, I disagree, here is my reasoning, then add one reason per sentence with sources. End with, what am I missing if you are open to more data? Avoid sarcasm. Avoid crowd claims such as everyone knows. Avoid personal labels. Stick to claims, sources, and steps. People who read you over time learn that your stance is firm and fair. They bring better input. They trust your updates. As you post, set a pace that matches your goal. If your aim is accuracy and steady influence, fewer, better posts are stronger than many quick ones. You can decide that you will post once a day or once a week, and that each post will carry a source and a clear scope. You can decide that you will skip posting when you are angry, and that you will write a draft and revisit it after dinner. When you act on purpose, you avoid the trap of volume for its own sake. Public speaking in person follows the same path. Short lines, steady endings, clear asks, and stated sources build trust in rooms with strangers. If you speak at a community event, slow your first sentence, name the scope of your point, and say what you need from the group. If you ask for volunteers, say how many you need and by when. If someone disagrees, say, I respect your view. I will be direct. Here is my concern, then state one reason and invite a response. A steady tone keeps the room focused on the issue. In all these settings, small safety lines help. When you need time to think in front of others, you can say, give me a moment, or I am thinking, please continue. When you need to stop a harmful act, you can say, I need to pause this. The rule here is no personal attacks. When you need to move a debate to facts, you can say, what evidence would change your mind? These lines are clear and short. They steer without force. It helps to make simple home norms that mirror the best of your work norms in a light way. You can agree that people will not interrupt during the first answer. You can agree that hard talks will use the 2-minute timer and end with one written next step. You can agree that scheduled changes will be sent by text with a day and a time. You can agree that weekly plans will be reviewed on Sunday evening for 15 minutes. These habits reduce friction because each person knows the path to follow when tension rises. You can also teach kids the clean replacements for harmful lines. When a child says, that is not my fault, you can model, here is my part and my next step. When a teen says, whatever, you can model, I disagree, here is my reasoning. When anyone in the house says, you never, you can guide to, I need this outcome by Friday. What is in the way? These small lessons build a shared language. They reduce drama and raise cooperation. If you help older family members online, use the source habit as a shared rule. Show them how to look for dates on posts. Show them how to click through to a primary source. Explain that a screenshot is not a primary source. Explain that a primary source is the first record, such as an agency report, a court document, or an official notice. Practice one check together each week. The goal is not to shame anyone. The goal is to build a habit of care. Notice how all of this connects back to the first signals you send. At home, a steady first line sets a respectful frame. In public, a source and a time frame set a careful frame. Online, a delay and a narrow claim set a safe frame. The same simple skills travel across rooms and screens. Short sentences that end steady. Pauses that invite full answers. Replacements that keep accountability, clarity, and respect visible. These moves add up to a daily posture that others can rely on. To keep these practices alive, it helps to anchor them in a daily system you can run without strain. You can plan clean lines in the morning before a hard day. You can review 2 moments at night to see what worked and what you want to redo. You can keep a short card near your keyboard with banned lines and their clean replacements. You can count small wins, such as pauses held and loops avoided. You can set an exception path for moments when silence harms, so you act quickly and clearly. A light system protects judgment because it trades reflex for a plan and keeps your signal steady across work, home, and public life. Do you have a system that keeps your words careful when days get hard? You now have the tools. You know the high-risk lines to avoid. You have clean replacements ready. You can pause for a few seconds and land a steady tone. You can set norms at work and bring the same care home and online. The next step is to make all of this run on its own. A light personal system turns skill into habit. It helps you act with intention when pressure rises. It protects judgment without heavy effort. Begin with a simple morning step that takes only a few minutes. Before a hard day, pre-write 3 clean responses you will use. Write each one in your own words. Keep each one short. Keep each one tied to action. Choose lines that match the moments you expect. If a deadline is tight, write, "Here is my part and my next step," then add the step and the time you will deliver. If a debate is due, write, "I will be direct," then your point in 1 sentence. If a source will matter, write, "Source and date," then leave a blank you will fill with the real record. Place these 3 lines where you will see them. This is not a script. It is a small guardrail for the first moments of the day. Close the loop at night with a short audit. After your last task, write 2 moments you handled well and 1 you will redo tomorrow. Keep each note to 1 line. For the redo, write the clean replacement you will use next time. You might write, "I rushed and said, everyone says, tomorrow I will name the source and the date." You might write, "I avoided a red flag by pausing before I answered the budget question." These notes are not for show. They are a private map of your growth. Short notes are more likely to happen every day. Short notes are easier to use in the morning when you pre-write your next 3 lines. Tie your morning and evening steps together with 1 small card. On one side, write your no-say phrases. On the other side, write your clean replacements. Add any personal triggers you have noticed. Place the card near your keyboard or camera. Read it in the morning when you pre-write. Glance at it once after lunch. Read it at night when you do your audit. This is a compact memory tool. It brings your plan to mind in the moments when reflex wants to take over. Build an exception plan for the rare times when silence harms. There are moments when waiting makes damage worse. If someone is in danger, if a rule is being broken, or if bias is shutting someone down, speak early and clearly. Use 4 parts in 1 breath. Say what you observe. Say how it affects outcomes. Say what you need. Make a direct request. You can use this exact form. You spoke over Priya twice. We lost her data on the client. I need us to hear her now. Priya, please continue. The tone is calm. The words are plain. The action is clear. Practice this form until it is ready under stress. You may never need it. When you do need it, it will be there. Track your progress with small numbers you can see at a glance. Count how many pauses you hold before you answer. Count how many times you catch a banned phrase and swap it for a clean one. Count how many heated threads you end with a clear next step. Keep a simple tally in a notebook or a small note on your phone. At the end of each week, add up the numbers. The goal is not perfection. The goal is steady movement. If you miss a day, reset without guilt. If a number drops, look for 1 small fix. Maybe you need to put your card in a place you cannot miss. Maybe you need to set a reminder at noon to read your 3 lines again. Invite a trusted peer into your loop. Ask one person to flag 1 improvement and 1 drift every Friday. Keep the ask small so it happens. When they give you the notes, thank them. Choose one fix to try next week. If they say your voice rises at the end of statements, run your steady ending drill for 1 minute a day. If they say you are using the line, to be honest, fall back to, I will be direct. When the feedback is part of a simple weekly rhythm, it loses its sting and gains its use. Save short proof of change. With consent, keep small clips or notes that show a moment you handled well. A 30-second call where you used source and date. A short email where you named owners and deadlines. A message where you used the 3 response cap. These are not for public praise. They are reminders that the system works. When you feel tired, they help you stay with it. Now place all of this inside a 30-day cycle. A cycle gives shape without weight. In the first 3 days, build or refresh your no-say card and pick 2 replacements to train. Use your morning pre-write to put those 2 lines at the top. In days 4 through 10, use those 2 replacements in live settings. Keep your nightly audit short and focus on those lines. In days 11 through 20, add delivery drills. Practice 12-word sentences out loud. Practice steady endings for 1 minute. Practice a slow first sentence. In days 21 through 30, set 2 simple norms at work and 1 at home that help careful language. You might choose leaders go last in idea rounds at work and a 2-minute timer for hard talks at home. Keep each norm light and visible. At the end of the month, review results and choose 2 upgrades to keep. You can teach 1 drill to a teammate. You can add a checklist to a shared tool. You can adapt your clean lines to another language you use so they fit your real voice. During the cycle, keep the exception protocol ready. If a moment calls for early speech, use the 4-part line. Speak with a calm voice, then return to your normal pause and plan. 1 clear action in a hot moment protects the group and keeps your own system intact. The exception is part of the system. It does not break the system. Keep your time boundaries real. When you write a next step, include a day and a time. When you receive a request, confirm the time and the owner. Replace soon with a named day. Replace later with a named hour. Set a small daily reminder at 7 in the morning and at 1 in the afternoon that says, breathe, pause, pick 1 question. Set a weekly reminder on Friday to ask your peer for 1 improvement and 1 drift. These small anchors remove the need to remember everything. They make the system visible. Use your drills in short moments across the day. Before you enter a meeting, take 1 breath with a 4-1-6 count. Keep your first sentence under 12 words. End it steady. After you ask a question, hold a pause of 2 to 4 seconds. If a thread heats up, apply your 3 response cap. If you feel a banned phrase rise, glance at your card and swap it. Each of these is a small move. Together they build a stable signal that others can trust. When you slip, recover fast. Say, I was wrong about that detail. Then, give the correct source and 1 action. Do not add a long story. Your clean correction tells the room who you are. It shows that truth is your guide. It also reduces the urge in others to pile on. Recovery is part of the system. It is not a sign that the system failed. It is a sign that the system is strong. Teach 1 part of your system to someone else. Teaching is a strong way to learn. Pick a colleague and share the pocket question you use. Or show them your no-say card and your 2 favorite replacements. Or run a 1-minute steady ending drill together before a hard call. Keep it light and friendly. When other people use the same tools, your day gets easier because the room speaks a shared language. Joint habits lower friction and raise the quality of decisions. Connect your personal system to your team norms in a clean way. If your team uses source and date as a norm, your morning pre-write can include a line that names a likely source you will need today. If your team uses 2 turnarounds, your delivery drill can prepare a short first sentence that opens space. If your team writes recap notes the same day, Your nightly audit can include one line about a recap you sent. Your personal loop and your team loop can reinforce each other without extra effort. Adapt the system to your home life in a light way. In the morning, write one clean request you will use that evening. It can be, I need 10 minutes at 7 in the evening to plan the week. In the evening, write one moment that went well and one redo for tomorrow. Keep the same tone of kindness and clarity you use at work. Over time, the home loop and the work loop will feel like one practice, not two tasks. Online, keep your delay rule inside the same system. When you feel the urge to post, draft your message and set a timer for 30 minutes. Use the break to do one breath cycle. When the timer ends, read the post out loud. Check for denial of clear facts, extreme words and blame. Add source and date if you state a claim. Mark uncertainty on purpose and pair it with a next step. Then decide to post or to drop it. Record how often this delay saved you from a post you would have regretted. The number will keep you honest. Refresh your no-say card every month. Some phrases will fade as your mouth learns the new path. Others will appear as your role changes. Add lines that fit your current work. If you lead more meetings now, add lines that invite input without pressure. If you have more public talk now, add lines that mark scope and source cleanly. A card that evolves stays useful. A card that never changes becomes wallpaper. Protect your system from overload. Keep the core small. Morning pre-write of 3 clean lines. Nightly audit of 2 wins and 1 redo. No say card within reach. 4-part exception protocol for harm. A few counters you track. A weekly feedback note. A 30-day cycle with simple focus. If you try to add 10 routines, you will drop them. If you keep the core light, you will keep it when life gets busy. Use clear words to explain your system to people who rely on you. Tell your team that you will pause before you answer and that you invite them to do the same. Tell your partner that you will send a short recap text after hard talks to prevent drift. Tell your peer that you want 1 improvement and 1 drift note on Friday. When people understand your plan, they can support it. They can also hold you to it when you forget. Give your system a small maintenance check each quarter. Pick one afternoon in March, in June, in September, and in December. Read a page of your notes. Count your tallies. Choose one element to refresh. It could be your pocket question. It could be your delivery drill. It could be a new norm at work or at home. Short, regular checks prevent slow slide. They keep your practice alive without heavy lifts. If you use more than one language, adapt your lines to each one. Translate for meaning, not word for word. Keep the tone plain and the verbs active. Practice out loud. Ask a native speaker to mark any line that sounds odd or harsh. Make small edits until the line feels natural. This matters because stress will push you toward your strongest language. You want clean lines ready in both. Carry one ethical line in your system for hard choices. Write it where you can see it. It can be truth over speed or respect over blame. Use it when you are tired. Use it when you feel pulled to a shortcut that would hurt someone. A single guiding line steadies your hand. It reminds you that your words affect real people and real outcomes. As your system matures, you will notice simpler days. Fewer loops, fewer fires, more early signals, more shared fixes. Credit the small steps you took, a breath before you spoke, a pause after you asked, a clean swap when a risky phrase rose, a source named, a next step tied to a day and a person, a recap sent, a correction made without drama, a 2-minute timer at home, a 30-minute delay online. These are tiny actions. Together they change the feel of your work and your life. End with a clear promise to yourself. You will trade impulse for intention, one sentence at a time. You will keep your system light so you can run it daily. You will speak early when silence harms. You will mark what you see, how it affects outcomes, what you need, and make a direct request. You will count small wins. You will accept friendly feedback. You will reset when you slip. You will teach one tool to one other person. This is enough. Small, steady moves build a voice that people trust, a room where truth is safe, and a record you can stand on when stakes are high.